Why would you want a community property agreement? Washington is a community property state, and what that means is everything that is earned during the spouse's marriage is considered to be community property. Community property means you each own half of it, regardless of what the titling is on the asset. So a lot of people say, okay, we're a community property estate. What is this agreement that we need? We already have community property. Well, Washington allows you to characterize your property. You can say that everything we have is ours, or you can say everything we have is my spouse's. We often do that when we are doing Medicaid planning. And there are different kinds of community property agreements. The one that is probably most commonly known is the community property agreement that says everything we have is ours, everything we ever get is ours, and on my death, everything goes automatically to the spouse. And the reason that people like that is that makes very clear everything is going to go to the surviving spouse because everything is community without the necessity of any probate or estate administration. So we call this a three-prong community property. Prong number one, everything is ours. Prong number two, everything coming to us in the future is ours. And prong number three, on my death, everything goes to my spouse. So actually, outside of Washington, sometimes a three-pronged community property agreement is called a Washington will because it works in that manner. So that might be a very good estate planning tool for you. Typically, however, when we are helping clients protect assets for the surviving spouse against long-term care costs, creditors, or to make sure that we preserve any kind of estate credit exclusion amount, for example, in Washington, it's $2.193 million. We don't want everything to go outright to the spouse because then we have no protections. We have no tax planning ability. All the things that an estate plan can do if the will is set up with these protections cannot be done with this community property agreement that is the three-prong one that says everything automatically goes to my spouse. So what we might instead do is what I call a two-prong community property agreement. It just lacks that third prong. Everything is not automatically going to go to the spouse. Now, why would I do that? The reason to do that, as I mentioned, is maybe we want to protect assets for the surviving spouse so that those assets are not counting against them if they need long-term care that we want the state benefits to pay for. Or maybe we want to capture the deceased spouse's credit exclusion amount for the state of Washington so that when the surviving spouse dies, they don't have to pay unnecessary estate tax to Washington. Other reasons, we might want to make sure that the deceased spouse's assets pays to a trust, especially important in a blended family situation, because in a blended family, if everything pays outright to the surviving spouse under this three-prong community property agreement, they have total control over everything. And if it were a blended family, then that surviving spouse can say, hey, everything goes to my kids. Well, what if the deceased spouse had children that they wanted to provide for? They're out of luck. Whereas if you have the will set up a trust and it says it's for the benefit of the surviving spouse, but on their death, it will pay according to what the deceased spouse says, which may be all to their children, or it may be an equal division among the kids, or whatever it is. But having a will with a trust in it avoids this unintentional, or could be intentional, disinheritance. So a community property agreement, it's a very powerful tool that people don't realize how powerful it is and what problems it can cause. So before you sign a community property agreement, understand what it does, understand its benefits to you. One more thing I want to point out is that let's say you signed a community property agreement, be it a two-prong or a three-prong, but you've got a community property agreement. what happens when you inherit from somebody? Let's say you inherit from your great aunt. What happens? Well, an inheritance is considered separate property to you, except you have a community property agreement. So now you don't have this separate property that's yours. It's yours and your spouse's. So be aware of that what could normally be considered separate property is turned into community property, all because of this 1 or 2 page document you signed, and perhaps you understood it, perhaps you didn't. So when it comes to community property agreements, ask questions, ask your lawyer about it.